Kent's Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Hey folks, good morning. Hope you had a nice week so far. We finally made it to Friday, last day of the work week. So let's see what we have in store here with the forecast as we wrap the week up. Right there near 100 in the valley. Give it 1 to 2 degrees of wiggle room and you can kind of expect that. We'll call it about 99 to 101 out there. Siskiyou, Modoc County, we'll call it upper 80s, lower 90s. And then the eastern mountains, Plumas County down Lassen County, about 90, 91 on average with clear skies in terms of the forecast, but that does not address the elephant in the room, so to speak, which is, of course, the park fire, right? We've been watching this over the last day or so, and I'll tell you what, this thing just continues to rage there on the mountains, east of Chico, east side of the valley. And I'll tell you what, it is going to be absolutely suffocating out there with this smoke, for lack of a better term, right? That stuff is going to be lifting north on the east side of the valley throughout Bernie, all the way to Aden, Alturas, Modoc County. And not only has this been a big smoke maker for the North State, but really all of the Pacific Northwest. The smoke has drifted up to Idaho with this thing. This is just a huge fire. Mike will be with you here at 7, so in 1 hour from now, for more details on this with his Coffee with Kruger. So be sure to tune in to that here. That is in 1 hour from the time this is going up. That is at 7 a.m. So be sure to watch that there. Then, of course, we can roll this forward a little bit, see how the smoke evolves, and it just kind of meanders. Modoc County, the eastern mountains, Plumas County, through portions, eastern Shasta County, Lassen County. It is just going to be absolutely thick out there. You're going to smell it, you're going to see it, you're going to feel it out there in the atmosphere. This is one of the bigger fires we've seen locally here this year, if not among the biggest, right? So that's going to be the big smoke maker here. Of course, look at that drifting into eastern Siskiyou County as well, right? So we're going to have to watch this very carefully. It's really the only big one going on right now, but as we know, that can change in a hurry. Thankfully, conditions are not extreme for the fire weather. Now, we do get back into the low-end high category and the moderate category for the rest of us across the area from Siskiyou County to Modoc County, but notice you're not really seeing a lot of those oranges. You're not seeing any of these reds really either, so conditions are kind of in the favor of our firefighters, so thank goodness for that, right? It could be a lot worse. We could be in a huge red flag emergency across all of the North State. Fortunately, it's looking a little bit favorable, but still we do have some fire conditions here as we head over the next day or so, though they're not extreme. But still, do your part. We don't need another one of these popping up because it does not take much. I'm sure you know how it goes. And then as we head into the weekend, you can notice here as well, really not actually doing too bad in terms of that fire weather. So there we go. We do have some improvement down the line. All right, here's your temperatures. Let's see what we have in store, right? This is what I was talking about. Give it 1 to 2 degrees of wiggle room from that 99 you saw earlier. That's kind of what you can expect, right? 99, 100, 101. So we'll be pretty squarely in the triple digits out there. Then, of course, out here towards the coast, we're going to be in the upper 60s, I'd say mid 60s there. A little further inland, you get back to the 90s really pretty quickly. And the 90s for the rest of us out here across the area. And, of course, following the plume up through Modoc County, the eastern mountains, 395 corridor of the park fire, going to be absolutely smoky there. Of course, send your photos of the sunsets, things like that, because I mean, they make for some really creepy sights, right? When you get that really dense, thick smoke out there, especially at sunrise and at sunset. All right, so let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. There's those 60s holding steady along the coast, but head a little further inland, go out to Trinity County, and you can kind of see the trend downwards that I was talking about last weekend, if you remember, in terms of those temperatures. So there are those lower 90s, upper 80s holding steady for the next 3-4 days. And of course, not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. Good to see that forecast verified, right? You're definitely appreciating the fact that we're not seeing those blistering temperatures anymore. Now, Shasta City, out there in Siskiyou County and Shasta County, I think all of us are going to kind of see the similar story here, right? We're going to be, pretty cool, all things considered. Those 90s turn into 80s, and I think for the weekend, we hold those 80s, right? We're going to stay there kind of in that mid-80s range. Alturas and Modoc County is the same story. You're going to be in the mid to upper 80s for the next 4 or 5 days. Susanville out towards the eastern mountains, again, upper 80s, maybe even mid-80s as we head through about Saturday or so. I'd say that's probably the time frame there. And the cool down is really obvious here in the valley. Let's take a look at Redding, and you can see those 90s holding steady, good 3 or 4 days. In fact, lower 90s there on Saturday. So definitely a nice trend downwards that I was talking about last weekend. So it's good to see this is finally happening. Again, Mike will be with you with Coffee at Kruger at 7, 1 hour from now. If you want more details on the park fire and so much more, go join him there. And of course, I'll be back with you in the afternoon for another forecast update.